Sometimes a single, quiet moment can speak louder than words, and in Heartland Season 19, Episode 2, that's exactly what happens. One look, one memory, one decision, and everything changes. This episode isn't just another chapter at the ranch. It's a story about finding strength when life feels uncertain, and learning that even the calmest hearts can carry the deepest storms, from unexpected reunions to emotional realizations. Episode 2 takes us right back into the heart of what makes Heartland so special: love, family, and the unbreakable bond between people and the horses that heal them. The episode opens with the soft glow of the morning, sun spreading across the Heartland Ranch. You can almost feel the crisp air and hear the distant sounds of horses in the paddock. Amy is already at work.com, but clearly carrying something on her mind. Since the start of this season, she's been trying to balance her love for horses with the quiet ache left behind by the past. In this episode, the balance becomes harder to keep. Episode 2 picks up shortly after the emotional ending of Episode 1, where we saw Amy taking a brave step toward a new chapter. The writers make sure we sense that her healing journey is ongoing, not through big speeches, but through simple actions. A glance at Spartan, a pause before she touches a saddle, a quiet breath before she starts her day. These little details remind us that Amy's strength is quiet but unshakable. Meanwhile, life at the ranch moves forward. Lou is juggling her duties as mayor while trying to keep her family together. And Jack, as always, stands as the calm in everyone's storm. His wisdom, his presence, and his deep connection to the land remind us that Heartland is more than a home. It's a living memory, full of stories, struggles, and second chances. As the camera pans across the ranch, the tone of the episode becomes clear. This is a story about transitions. Change is everywhere in the land, in the people, in the rhythm of their lives. But even in that change, there's comfort. The ranch remains a place where wounds slowly heal, where broken hearts find peace, or family, no matter how complicated, always comes first. We also get a sense that something new is on the horizon. A visitor, a decision, maybe a hidden tension. The show gives us just enough to feel that the calm of the morning won't last long. The subtle music in the background hints that the day will test each of them in unexpected ways. By the time the first act ends, we're fully drawn in. It's not about big action or dramatic conflict. It's about emotion, it's connection, and the quiet beauty of everyday life at Heartland. The writers use stillness and simplicity to pull us closer, making us care deeply before the real challenges even begin. This setup beautifully captures what makes Heartland so powerful. It doesn't rush to tell a story. It lets you feel it. The air, the land, the people, the love all come together in a way that reminds us that every sunrise at Heartland is both an awe, ending, and a beginning. The peace at Heartland never lasts. Long, and Episode 2 proves that even the quietest days can carry hidden storms. What starts as a normal morning soon turns into a day full of choices, misunderstandings, and emotional turning points for everyone on the ranch. Amy's story takes the center stage once again, but not in a loud or dramatic way. It's in the small things, the way she looks at a new horse brought in by a troubled owner. The horse, nervous and scarred from neglect, mirrors Amy's own unspoken pain. She senses it instantly. It's almost as if the horse's story is her own, hurt, patient, but not broken. When she begins training him, her words are calm, but her eyes tell us everything. This is not just about helping an animal. It's about helping herself heal one step at a time. As Amy connects with the horse, we also see Lou struggling with her responsibilities. Being the mayor has made her stronger in some ways, but it's also built a wall between her and her family. She's missing moments, small, precious moments that used to define her days. When she argues with Amy over priorities, it's not really about chores or time. It's about distance. Lou wants to do everything right for the town, for her daughters, for her late mother's memory, but in trying to be perfect, she's starting to lose sight of what matters most. Then there's Jack, the heart of the ranch, the voice of reason, the keeper of everyone's hope. But even he isn't immune to the shifting winds. In one moving scene, he sits by the fireplace, looking at an old photograph, one that reminds him of the people he's loved and lost. His silence says more than words could. It's a quiet reflection on time, on family, and on the cost of holding everyone else together when your own heart is still healing. Meanwhile, Tim brings a little tension and energy into the episode. His stubborn attitude and quick temper clash with everyone's attempts at peace. But behind that gruffness, there's guilt. The kind that comes from realizing he's missed too many years, made too many mistakes. When he tries to give advice to Amy and Lou, it comes out rough, but his intentions are pure. You can tell he's trying to fix what he once broke, even if he doesn't always know how. By the middle of the episode, all these threads start to weave together. Amy's connection with the injured horse becomes a mirror for the family itself. Everyone trying to heal from their own invisible wounds. The ranch feels alive with emotion, as if the land itself can sense their struggles and hopes. The sky darkens slightly, the air grows heavier, and you know something important is coming. There's a beautiful moment near the end of this section, Amy standing with the horse in the pasture, the wind blowing softly. She whispers something we can barely hear, but it feels like a promise. Not just to the horse, but to herself. To keep going? To believe again. This part of the episode is powerful because it doesn't rely on drama. It relies on emotion. The characters aren't shouting, they're feeling. Every look, every pause, every quiet conversation adds another layer to their story. The audience doesn't just watch Heartland, they live it. By now, we know the peace of the morning has completely shifted. The characters are standing at emotional crossroads, each with a choice to make. And though they don't know it yet, those choices will shape not only their own futures, but the soul of Heartland itself. There's a moment in Heartland, Season 19, Episode 2, when time seems to stop. No words, no movement, just emotion, raw, silent, and overwhelming. This is where the episode truly finds its heartbeat. Amy stands in the barn, her hand resting gently on the frightened horse's neck. The air is thick with quiet, only the sound of breathing and the faint rustle of hay filling the space. The camera doesn't move quickly. It lingers, forcing us to feel what Amy feels. She whispers softly, as if speaking to herself more than to the horse. It's not about control or training. It's about trust. Two souls trying to find peace in each other's brokenness. That moment becomes the emotional center of the entire episode. It's the kind of scene that reminds us why Heartland has lasted for 19 seasons. It understands that healing doesn't come from big gestures. It comes from connection, from patience, from love that expects nothing in return. Amy's eyes glisten, not with sadness, but with quiet strength. You can almost see the reflection of her past ties memory, her struggles as a mother, her constant search for balance, all mixing together in that single gaze. Meanwhile, Lou's emotional storm hits its peak in a completely different way. After another long day of juggling her mare duties and family arguments, she breaks down, not in public, but alone. Sitting in her office late at night, surrounded by papers and silence, she realizes how heavy her world has become. Her phone buzzes with another message she can't answer. She closes her eyes, and for a moment, she's not the mayor, not the mother, not the sister, just Lou, tired and human. It's such a simple scene, but it carries so much truth. Success means nothing if it costs you the warmth of home. And then there's Jack. He doesn't cry. He doesn't shout. He simply walks into the barn later that night and finds Amy still awake, brushing the horse. Without a word, he places a hand on her shoulder. She doesn't turn around, but she knows he's there. The silence between them is more comforting than any speech. That's the beauty of Jack. He's the soul of Heartland. He knows that sometimes the best way to say I'm proud of you is to say nothing at all. Tim's moment comes near the end of this section. He tries to fix things with Amy, awkwardly as always. His words stumble, his timing is off, but his heart is in the right place. Amy doesn't forgive him instantly, but she listens. That's growth. That's hope. And when he walks away, his face says everything. Maybe he can't undo the past, but he can still try to be better. The music in this part of the episode deserves its own praise. Soft piano notes, gentle guitar strings, no lyrics, just feeling. The score moves like a heartbeat, matching every emotional rise and fall. It's almost as if the music itself understands the characters better than they understand themselves. This entire section reminds us what Heartland is really about. It's not just horses or ranch life. It's about forgiveness, quiet courage, and the small steps we take toward healing. Every look, every breath, every unsaid word feels heavy with meaning. By the end of this emotional wave, the audience isn't just watching, they're feeling. You can't help but think about your own life, your own family, your own version of Heartland. It's the show's magic. It reaches into your heart, gently, and stays there long after the credits roll. As the day fades over the ranch, the golden sky turns soft and heavy, the kind of sunset that only Heartland can capture. It's not just an ending. It's a quiet reflection of everything that's been said and everything left unspoken. The episode slows down, trading dialogue for emotion. Every scene feels like a page turning in someone's heart. Amy stands by the fence, watching the horse she's been working with finally take a few calm steps on its own. The camera holds on her face, not smiling, not crying, but peaceful. It's the look of someone realizing that healing doesn't come in one moment, but through 1,000 little ones. Her journey in this episode has been about trust, not just teaching it, but relearning it. When the horse finally lets her touch its face without fear, it's more than progress. It's a metaphor for her own life. After all she's been through, Amy isn't just helping others heal. She's finding her way back to herself. The lighting softens, and the soundtrack fades into a slow, emotional melody. Lou walks out of the house, still holding the weight of her choices. She looks toward the barn, where Amy and Jack stand, their silhouettes framed against the dim light. For a second, Lou hesitates, but then she smiles faintly. Maybe she finally understands that it's okay not to have everything under control. It's okay to just be. That small step forward, that simple smile, feels like the beginning of something new. Jack, ever the silent guardian, watches both of them. His voice finally breaks the silence. He says something simple, maybe one of his classic lines like, "You can't rush trust. You just have to show up every day and earn it." It's not just advice for Amy and the horse. It's advice for all of them, for life itself. His words hang in the air, warm and steady, like the last glow of the evening sun. Meanwhile, Tim lingers in the distance. He's not part of the conversation, but he's watching, not out of pride, but regret mixed with hope. The camera catches his expression, soft and uncertain. You can tell he wants to say something. Maybe I'm proud of you, maybe I'm sorry, but he doesn't. Instead, he turns toward the horizon, the wind brushing through his hair. It's his quiet way of promising to keep trying. Then, there's a subtle but powerful moment. Amy walking the horse back into the stable, the sky almost dark now. She pauses, places her hand on its neck, and whispers something that only she and the horse will ever know. The scene fades slowly, the sound of the night settling in crickets, a gentle breeze, and distant laughter from the house. It's a reminder that healing doesn't end when the sun sets. It continues quietly. In small acts of love and patience, the final shot of episode 2 is simple, yet breathtaking. A wide view of Heartland Ranch under the twilight sky. The lights in the house glow softly, like little stars against the dark. No words, no dramatic ending, just peace. It's the show's way of telling us that even in pain, there's beauty. Even in endings, there's always a beginning waiting. Episode 2 doesn't close with a cliffhanger. It closes with understanding. It's about the unspoken healing between Amy and her past. Lou and her responsibilities, Tim and his regrets, Jack and his memories. It's a quiet masterpiece of emotion, a reminder that the strongest moments aren't always loud. Sometimes they whisper as the screen fades to black. One thought lingers. Heartland isn't just about family or horses, it's about finding light. Even after the darkest nights. And this ending, soft yet powerful, tells us that the story of Heartland is far from over. It's still growing, still healing, still reminding us that love in all its forms is worth holding on to. If there's one thing, Heartland has always done better than any show. It's reminding us that healing doesn't happen in straight lines. Episode 2 carries that truth in every frame. Beneath the soft colors and quiet moments lies a story about courage. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that whispers. Keep going. This episode isn't just about horses or ranch life. It's about people learning how to live with their scars. Amy's bond with the horse becomes the symbol of rebuilding trust after pain. It's the same journey that many of us face, learning to trust life again after it's hurt us. The beauty of Heartland is that it doesn't offer easy answers. It shows us that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to wake up, face another day, and believe that healing is possible. Lou's storyline gives us another message. It's that strength doesn't mean carrying everything alone. Her struggle to balance her role as mayor, sister, and mother reflects something we all feel: the pressure to be perfect. But episode 2 quietly reminds us that perfection isn't love. Connection is. When Lou finally lets her guard down, when she smiles through exhaustion, we realize that being human, flawed, messy, emotional is what makes life real. Jack's role in this episode ties it all together. He's not just the ranch's foundation. He's the emotional compass of the entire story. His quiet wisdom, his gentle presence, his ability to let silence say more than words, they all teach us something about patience. About how time doesn't erase pain, but it softens it. Fans often say Jack reminds them of their own grandparents, and that's because his love is timeless. He represents the kind of steady faith that holds families together when everything else feels uncertain. Tim's emotional growth stands out too. He's a flawed man trying to do better, trying to rewrite his story before it's too late. And in many ways, he represents the theme of redemption, that it's never too late to show up, even if it's in small ways. Heartland has always celebrated second chances, and Tim's quiet moments of reflection make that theme shine through. The fans watching. Episode 2 can feel the difference. This isn't just another episode. It's a mirror. Every viewer sees a bit of themselves in these characters. The daughter trying to be strong like Amy, the parent trying to hold everything together, like Lou, the person seeking peace after loss, like Jack, the one hoping to be forgiven. It's like Tim. That's why Heartland continues to resonate. It doesn't show perfect lives. It shows real ones. Even the ranch itself feels like a character. The open fields, the golden light, the sound of hooves echoing across the valley. It's not just a place. It's a feeling. A reminder that no matter how far we drift, there's always somewhere or someone we can return to. That's the true heart of Heartland. When the credits roll, you don't just think about what happened, you think about what it means. You remember the look in Amy's eyes when she touched the horse, the soft crack in Lou's voice, the strength in Jack's silence, and somewhere deep down, you feel it, that warm, familiar ache that says, I've been there too. Episode 2 leaves us with a simple but powerful truth. Life is not about getting over the past. It's about learning to carry it with grace. Every scar tells a story. Every loss teaches love. And every ending, no matter how painful, carries the promise of a new beginning. That's what fans will take away, that Heartland isn't just a show you watch. It's a story that watches you back. When the dust finally settles over the open fields of Heartland, what remains isn't silence, it's peace. Not the kind that comes from everything being perfect, but the kind that grows when you finally stop fighting what life has already decided for you. Heartland Season 19, Episode 2, ends not with answers but with acceptance. And sometimes, that's all the heart needs. Amy's quiet victory with the horse feels like a whisper to the soul. A reminder that progress doesn't always look like a gallop. Sometimes it's just a single step forward. That moment where fear turns into trust and grief turns into understanding. She doesn't need to say it out loud, but we can feel it in her stillness. She's finding her rhythm again. Not the old one, but a new one. Slower, softer, and more honest. Lou's story closes on a note of fragile balance. She's learning that leadership isn't about control, it's about connection. In one of her final scenes, We see her standing outside the house, the night air brushing against her face. She looks up at the stars, and for the first time in a while, she smiles without pretending. That small smile means everything. It's the smile of someone who finally understands that it's okay to pause, to breathe, to not have it all figured out. Jack's final scene is the anchor that grounds the entire episode. Sitting on the porch, he looks out over the ranch, the lights glowing faintly in the dark. The sounds of the night wrapping around him like an old song. There's something in his eyes, a blend of sadness and peace. He's seen so many storms, so many changes, but he knows one thing never fades: love. His presence, steady and unshaken, reminds us that family isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again, no matter how hard the road gets. And Tim, though still a man with regrets, takes one small step toward redemption. Maybe it's a quiet apology, or maybe it's just a moment of watching from afar. But for him, that's enough for now. Because Heartland teaches us that change doesn't need to be dramatic. It only needs to be real. The camera pans wide for the final sequence. The ranch glows under a silver moon, wind rippling through the grass, horses grazing calmly as if nothing else in the world matters. The scene feels alive, breathing, glowing, remembering. It's more than just an ending. It's a promise. A promise that tomorrow will bring new challenges, new joys, and new chances to begin again. There's something about Heartland that stays with you, even after the screen fades to black. Maybe it's the stillness of the ranch at dusk, or the way the characters keep finding hope in places most of us would have given up. Episode 2 reminds us that no matter how far you've fallen, there's always a way back home, even if the journey is slow, even if it hurts a little along the way. Amy's story in this episode wasn't just about a horse. It was about her rediscovering trust in herself. Every scene with her reminds us that healing doesn't happen overnight. It happens when we choose to keep trying, even when no one's watching. Her courage isn't loud, but it's unshakable, and that's what makes her the soul of Heartland. Lou's quiet acceptance, Jack's steady wisdom, and Tim's humble attempt at redemption, they all come together like threads in a quilt. Different colors, different textures, but when woven together, they make something whole. That's the message of this episode. Family doesn't have to be perfect to be strong. Sometimes love looks like showing up tired. Sometimes forgiveness sounds like silence. And maybe that's why fans connect so deeply with Heartland. It's not about escape, it's about reflection. It doesn't ask you to forget your struggles. It reminds you that they matter. That every scar, every heartbreak, every hard day is shaping you into someone stronger, softer, and wiser. As the music swells and the credits begin to roll, we're left with one final feeling: peace. The kind of peace that only comes when you've seen both pain and beauty, and you've learned to hold them both gently in your hands. So, as we leave the ranch for now, let this episode linger a little longer. Think about what it means to rebuild trust. Think about what it means to forgive. And maybe, just maybe, think about what your own Heartland looks like. Because for all its drama, its joy, and its quiet moments, this show isn't just about them. It's about us. If this episode touched your heart the way it did mine, share your thoughts in the comments below. What moment hit you the hardest? What do you think episode 3 will bring for Amy and the others? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more Heartland recaps, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Because at Heartland, every sunrise brings a new story, and we'll be right here to tell it. Until next time, keep your heart open, your faith steady, and remember, home isn't a place. It's the people who make you feel like you belong.